whenever you wait for making a decision that God is calling you to, you're never going to regret the decision. You're always going to regret how long it took.
Yep.
I was like, sheesh.
We literally, dude, I'm telling you, we hung out on Wednesday this week, right? Wednesday.
Yep.
I was literally telling him about literally delayed obedience causes so much pain. So that pain it's not God giving me pain. That's up to me how much I'm going to exacerbate that pain.
Right.
Like, I could either be like, it's kind of like getting a shot. You could just be like, boop, just get it over with. Or you could just drag out that fear, that anxiety. You could drag that whole thing along. You could scream after, you could scream during. You could make it real bad for yourself. And
I think where Christians play games too is we don't realize, like, that's the sin right there.
Yep.
Like, you're not punished for your sin, you're punished by it. Like, delayed obedience is literally nothing more than just being, like, living in sin. Like, we're not
Literally
taking
living
action
in
we're
sin.
supposed to take.
Literally.
Man, that's so good.
Welcome to Good Service. We are your hosts, Ben Chung.
And Kevin's Haw.
Each week, we'll be having real, raw, and vulnerable conversations about life, faith, and everything in between, and always over a fire meal.
Come grab a chair. Let's eat.
Folks, welcome back to another episode of Good Service. We are your hosts, Ben.
And Kevin.
And we have a very special guest in the pod.
Yeah.
He was recognized by QSR Magazine as one of 35 leaders to watch. He was featured on Entrepreneur and FastCasual.com.
Yes, let's go.
He went from being a Walmart janitor to being a multi-unit quick service restaurant founder.
Let's get it.
He's the co-founder and CEO of Hawaiian Asian fusion fast casual restaurant chain Shoots, which grew from 0 to $10 million in revenue in less than 5 years. That's crazy.
Go, brah.
He's a husband and father and man of God. We have Harold Walters
Hey,
in the pod.
let's go.
Welcome
Thank you,
to
guys.
Good Service. Hey, we got to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you. They blessed
this
us.
meal, I mean, this is a feast.
Yes.
This feast was courtesy
Yes.
of you. So I'm going to ask you, please do us the honors.
Please tell us what
are we about to
doing?
get into, man?
True. All right. So each one of us has the mixed plate in front of us. So that's going to be kimchi butter katsu chicken. And then our kimchi butter fried shrimp, jumbo shrimp.
Oh, my God.
On top of a bed of rice. Each bed of rice has furikake drizzled over it.
Let's go.
And then we got the mac salad, our famous Shoots mac salad.
Oh, my gosh.
It has tuna inside of it, too, an egg. Top of paprika. We got green onions, furikake on top of the chicken. And, of course, our signature kimchi butter. Got some spicy kimchi butter there on the side.
Hey, Thanksgiving came early, man. Come on.
Yeah. Let's go.
We got the spam brulee musubi.
Spam? What's a spam brulee?
Oh, you'll find out, bro.
Oh, my.
I've had all this,
need to
and I
hop
love
into
all
that.
this, bro.
I need to go into
So traditional spam musubi is going to be just, the rice with the spam inside of it, and then it's going to be wrapped in seaweed or nori. Ours is different because we put a kimchi aioli. That's this sauce right here.
Oh my gosh.
Kimchi aioli on the inside. We cut it in half. We put it on the on its side, and then we put more kimchi aioli. Then we put brown sugar and we torch it to brulee.
Brulee, bro.
I'm jumping in that one right now, dude.
Yeah.
I'm getting in that one.
All right,
And
let's
then,
get
then we got some sauces with
Yeah. One more time on the sauces.
Yeah.
Spicy kimchi butter right there.
Yep, love that.
Yep, and then that's the kimchi aioli.
Look at this.
Amazing. And what are we sipping on? What are these drinks?
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is our refresher. So we handcrafted all our refreshers. Like, we made all the recipes ourselves. That's the strawberry pineapple lemonade.
That's delicious.
Yeah, that's our most popular one. We have
Holy
two
smokes.
other ones, but that's the one.
Amazing. Okay.
Tropical delight.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna get into the food together. But all right. So before we get into, I'm so excited. I mean, let me get my thoughts in order.
I'm like, ask the question.
Yeah. Hurry up. Make it quick. All right. So yeah, we before every episode, obviously we see who the guest is and check out what they do, and then for me, I just like take all of that. I'm like, Lord, where do you want to direct this conversation? And I just sit in silence. I let the Lord speak. And obviously I'm like, okay, this guy's a entrepreneur, a restaurateur, and then I was looking at some of your stuff on your IG, and you're doing a lot of stuff like in AI, and you're there to like help people build like more efficient ways of doing things. You're a restaurateur. You got these amazing restaurants, and like I was even looking at some of your clips. A lot of the stuff is like, I just like saw a lot of risk taking, like even your captions and things like that, things that are about entrepreneurs and taking risks, which I think if you don't have that sort of skin to be a risk taker, like entrepreneurship is not the space for you, right?
Right.
And so, and we talk a lot about how, we talk to founders and entrepreneurs and, why do that versus like, the safe route of, whatever the 9 to 5 and things like that. And so yeah, the word like risk taking came to mind. And as I was like talking to the Lord about it, the word fear came up. And people who don't like to take risks often don't, because there's a level of fear involved, of like the fear of failure or fear of even success, or what if I can't sustain it and things like that. And so I felt like the Lord was like kind of causing me to park on the word fear. And obviously the Bible talks about fear more than it does anything else. This is like mentioned like 365 times in the Bible, like do not be afraid, fear not, like almost like one for every single day of the year. And the Bible says not to fear, but there's also the fear of God, which we are called to do. And so I think the word fear is what the Lord wants us to unpack. And so the question I felt like the Holy Spirit was prompting or crafting is for us to start off on is, how much of what motivates you is driven by fear? Sheesh. How much of what motivates you is driven by fear?
That was not the question.
That's not the question I was expecting either. And I was like, Lord, that's a lot. Wow. But I think though too, like I said, people define fear in different ways. So like there is the do not fear, and then there is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So there is a fear that we're actually called to. So motivation, there's positive motivation, there's negative motivation. So how much of what motivates you is driven by fear? I think that's what we're kicking off on.
So Ben sometimes likes to ask questions where you can't digest. So it's just
hey, we got a lot of food to chew on today. I gotta hop into the. So these are all the same.
Yeah, these are all the same.
Let's. I'm gonna do it without sauce and then with sauce later.
Boom.
Here we go.
Check this out, guys.
Okay. There's some good SOPs at this restaurant.
Whoa,
we got it down.
Consistency. Let's get it.
You go first, Kev. I'm still chewing. You go first.
I literally taste the butter on the bites, which is like what I remember about shoots, because like the butter it's not just regular butter. It's like butter that has the flavoring of kimchi and everything else in it. So you actually get that on every bite at this place. So if y'all like a tangy butter that gets real, you know what I mean, the acidity on the fat, fire.
I love that.
All right, so this is the best musubi I've ever had in my life. Straight up.
Hey,
I'm sorry, guys.
Sheesh.
I'm sorry. I'm a musubi connoisseur. Well, I've never had a musubi with this flavor profile.
Musubi, man. That's
there's crunch in there. Like, what's the crunch?
That's the brulee.
That's the brulee. Bro. All right, y'all ain't bruleeing your musubis. You guys need to change up the format. Wow. The crunch is what got me.
The spam's fried pretty crunchy too. So
I'm not gonna put extra.
Oh my gosh,
extra butter.
Yeah, I definitely the kimchi. Is that the brulee? So is that the kimchi butter that you guys?
Yo, when did this sauce come into play though?
No, we put the kimchi aioli
on
top, and then we
oh my god,
we sprinkle brown sugar on it, and then we torch that.
When did this butter become? Like, when did y'all start doing? What year was this at?
So the butter started before we even opened.
Y'all started doing butter on the side like this? I don't remember that.
Oh no, yeah, we've always done it on the side.
Really? This is my first time having it. That's why.
Yeah, I think we first started doing. Oh, so the butter's normally on top of the chicken. Like we just baste it
on the side. It's crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah. I only did it for you guys like that because normally if people don't want it like their food spicy, so we'll do regular butter and then we'll put the spicy butter on the side. Yeah. So I think we started that like 3 years ago.
Oh my god!
I just tried it without the kimchi butter. Now I'm about to try it with the kimchi butter.
Do it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Definitely throw your diet out the window a little bit, but it's okay.
Yeah. Make sure you hit the gym a week straight before you get into this. But oh my god,
This is not for weak stomachs.
This is incredible, dude. I love that. I mean, shoot, we could just get into like.
Yeah, how are we gonna talk about fear when I'm enjoying all this, bro? What are you doing right now?
This is removing all fear. But like, okay, Hawaiian fusion. Do you have any Hawaiian in you? Okay, but you grew up out here, South Bay.
Yep.
Okay, give us.
So the way it started was so there's a few different aspects to shoots, you know, because there's so many different variables. Like, you know, there's 4 partners, 4 original founders. We're all childhood friends. So none of us are Hawaiian.
Okay.
When we basically met up at a bar, hey, we want to start a restaurant. Started chatting it up, literally at kind of like a table like this with 4 of us.
Yeah.
And my partner Christian, he was in culinary school, and his final project was basically he was like, I want to do a Hawaiian food restaurant. Okay. So he had specifics around it. It was gonna be a Hawaiian food restaurant off Artesia in Cerritos. So that was kind of like the whole thought.
So specific.
Yeah, so specific. And for me, I've never been in the restaurant game whatsoever, but that resonated with me because growing up in Carson, I vividly remember the first time my uncle took me to L&L in Torrance.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like, dang, like I've never, the rice with the mac salad, with the short ribs, the barbecue mix plate.
It's memorable, isn't it?
It's memorable, yeah, facts. So that was like, okay, yeah, I'm down with that. Let's do Hawaiian, right? So that's kind of how it started. But then on top of that, even though I'm not Hawaiian, I'm not Hawaiian like native at all.
Sure.
My grandfather is actually from Hawaii. So my great-grandparents met in Hawaii, and then my grandfather was raised there. My grandfather ended up in Compton because he hopped on a random boat, like a cargo boat, ended up in the San Pedro Harbor.
That's crazy.
And then, moved to Compton, met a black lady, got married, and then that's where my mom was born. That's how I ended up in Carson.
Wow.
Yeah. So like that story always has resonated with me because it would always be told to me.
Yeah.
So like that plus let's do Hawaiian food. It just felt right.
That's awesome, man.
I'm about to get into this. This is the chicken sando.
That's the sound.
So what's interesting about Hawaiian food in general is Hawaiian food celebrates fusion food because there's so much Asian culture in Hawaii. Yeah. And I've always loved that because like out of any place I've ever been to in the United States, I've never felt like the majority population. Like I would go there and be like, yo, everyone's Asian here. And so everything has like an Asian vibe to it. Yeah. It's super dope. And it kind of feels like another country. Yeah. And what's crazy and this is super props to what Shoots is doing. It's already fusion food, but they're like fusioning fusion food.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that.
Man, fusion's my favorite. Hey, y'all need to take a look at this chicken sandwich. Oops, I'm dripping. See, I'm dropping all over our equipment now. This sandwich is crazy.
So the sando also has the brulee on the bottom too.
That's what I'm. Yeah, definitely. Unique flavors, and that tuna salad or tuna in the mac, bro. That's crazy. Yeah. Hey, if you guys are not watching it on video, you're missing out. Check it out on Spotify, YouTube. Check out the video. This food is crazy.
I love what you just said too, Kevin, because we get a lot of hate from Hawaii or Hawaiians, like on the authentic. Sure. It's not authentic, whatever. But like you said, like Hawaiian plate lunch literally is fusion food.
Literally. So when people go, oh yeah, that's not authentic Hawaiian food, like I get what you're saying. You're saying it's not authentic to the 80s and 90s where you grew up.
Right.
But you have to understand, like your food's not even authentic to the 70s and 60s and 50s because Korean's been there for like 100 years, bro. Like you're taking it from the other Asian cultures that brought it. Yep. So instead of hating, people need to celebrate.
Facts.
And that's really what it comes down to. But hey, Chihu, like I love Hawaiians. I got bras over there, so anyways, love y'all.
Man. All right, well, speaking of like, Hawaiian fusion and like, I mean, you talking about like hating, right? I mean, I'm trying to find a segue back to my question here, but fear, right? I think maybe there's also some of that in that, like, when people hate on stuff, a lot of that time, a lot of that's like driven by fear, like fear of like losing something or fear of losing culture or identity or whatever. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think so much of our society like operates on fear. When we open up social media, like what's the stuff that catches our attention, like, uh-oh, AI is going to take over all of our jobs. Like, they want to incite fear. And so,
might.
What's that?
It might.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe.
It might take over
At least
certain
70%.
jobs. Like certain jobs. But again, as followers of Christ, we are supposed to have a different relationship with fear. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to present the question again. How much of what motivates you is driven by fear?
Yeah. That's a complex question because there's two parts to it. So like in one aspect, I come from a super dysfunctional family. Like I was born into a dysfunctional family. And so growing up in like that type of environment, parents divorced or not even married, born out of wedlock. My dad was in a gang. He got jumped when I was really young, when I was like 2 years old. Wow. And so he was put into a coma. He was in a coma for a month. Wow. Literally was like dead for 2 minutes, brought back to life basically. And so I wasn't raised by my dad or my mom. I grew up with my grandmother. So I think like for a while, like a lot of my drive for entrepreneurship was like this. I've always been the black sheep in my family. So there was always this drive of, if I do enough, maybe I'll be seen,
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah,
I won't be missed, or maybe I'll stand out,
Yeah.
So I think I struggled with that a lot, and there was this motivation of if I grind hard, if I make something happen, if I grow a business, if I do big things, and it led to me making a lot of bad decisions in business. So there is that aspect. There's that aspect of fear there that I struggle with, And then the other side of it is, I'm glad you brought that question up. I think like God was totally leading you in the right direction to ask that. I had a conversation with one of my coaches, another guy you guys should bring on for sure, Jose Rodriguez. He owns a nonprofit called Rescue a Generation. I actually brought him in to coach like with our team. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about fear came up as a conversation. Wow. Like, so how do you deal with it, And a lot of times, especially as Christians, we forget something that's key. And we talk about fear is the way we get through it is like courage. Like you just gotta be courageous, Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it's right there in front of you, but just push forward. And he challenged me, and it's been sticking with me over the last few months, where it's like the Bible tells us how to deal with fear. It says perfect love casts out all fear.
Yeah. Amen.
And so
Amen.
At the end of the day, it's like if I'm having a problem taking action on something or moving forward or afraid to take a risk, it's because for whatever reason, I'm not seeing God's love for me. I need a deeper revelation of God's love for me. And so that's how I've been dealing with it lately. Whenever I hit I've hit so many moments, like in scaling shoots. I've hit so many moments where there is a next level that God's trying to take me to, and I'm afraid to go there because I'm worried about what everyone else is going to think, or I'm worried about what the problems we're going to run into. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if I really just remember, like, yo, God loves me. Like, it doesn't matter if I lose this business. It doesn't matter if the business goes down. It doesn't matter if I lose it. I could lose anything, but at the end of the day, God has my back, and He loves me. Yeah. And so. That's how fear, like, I guess, if that answers the question.
No, that's good. I think that's solid. That's powerful.
Really yeah.
You got something, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned that I've always, without consciously doing it, I've sort of chased fear, meaning it wouldn't be worth me pursuing if there was some level of like, that's a safe thing to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying it's a good thing. I think like if anything, like there's probably some healing that needs to happen in that. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Like, God, why am I like this? Why do I always, I am that risk taker. I'm kind of similar to you, black sheep of the family, middle child. My sister, she got the straight A's. She went to the college that my mom, was like, go to USC, and she did all the things the right way. Right. I got a younger brother who, well, if anything, he was kind of like modeling after me. So that probably wasn't, but you know, he's in medical and everything now, you know, he's in healthcare. So like they kind of went the conventional route, and I'm just like, I'm going to be a professional skateboarder. And then, you know, my mom's like, what is that? That's not a thing, you know? And then, you know, I started hanging out with like the bad crowd, and then she shut that dream down. Okay, I'm going to be a professional dancer. And it's like, what's that, you know? And I wasn't necessarily trying to do the thing that doesn't make sense, but for whatever reason that appealed to me. And I used to just think like, man, all I cared about was like, I just wanted to have fun. Sure, those things were fun, but I wanted to do what I felt passionate about. And yeah, a lot of times when you pursue passion, it doesn't make sense to most people. They're like, what? That's not a real thing. Like, why are you doing that? You should get a real job or whatever. And so, yeah, I think I've always sort of chased fear. Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm on the spectrum of having ADD, ADHD, so that maybe I just need dopamine, like to just constantly, like, I went skydiving just because it was like, yo, let's go jump out of a plane. I'm like, yeah, that sounds fun. Let's do it, you know? And yeah. I mean,
heights, bro.
It's crazy. And so am I. I'm terrified of heights. And then I was like, yeah, it sounds like a good idea. So, you know, I've always been sort of motivated by fear. And I don't think that's a good thing necessarily.
No, dude, I relate to that. Like, one of my things is like putting my back against the wall because I have no choice but to, you know, figure it out and move forward type of deal. And I still wrestle with whether or not that's good or bad or whatever. But, you know, I used to tell the guys, like my partners, I always say like, man, like, you know, I don't want to create money with this business thing. Like, I want to create magic. And you know, like the way we create magic is like, yo, if we put ourselves in situations where like God has to show up, to everybody else that mess looks like magic. And that's what I experienced is like God just shows up in the times where we can't explain it. Like there's no formula that we can like, oh yeah, that you got to do this, do that, do that. Like, nah, God just shows up, and that usually is when it's like, yo, I put my back against the wall. Right.
And I think there's a part of it where we don't want to be reckless, you know. There's a part of that can be really foolish too. Like, oh, let me just put myself in a situation where my back's up against the wall. So you're like intentionally trying to be reckless, which I think is not wise. And I think, in my younger years, I just did things without thinking, and I'm like, well, it just felt good, so I'm just gonna do that. But you know, I've also learned that like faith and fear kind of live on the same plane. Like, you don't have faith unless there's something to kind of be like fearful of. Facts. You know what I'm saying? I would imagine when Jesus called Peter to step out on the water, Peter wasn't like, yeah, sure, why not? He's just like, you know, that's water and there's a storm and I can't walk on water. But if that's truly you, God, then tell me to do it and I'll do it. And, you know, he took a risk and there was fear. And then clearly when he saw the wind and the waves and he took his eyes off of Jesus, that's when he began to sink. So like the fear of the external circumstances became more like it took away his focus. You know?
This is a super sidebar because we use that example of Peter a lot. In the podcast and in friendships, conversations, and when we're fellowshipping, we talk about that. What's wild is one of the guys in my Bible study, him and his wife went to Israel and came back. There's an area in the water around there that for some reason, when you step out in the water, more than half of your body floats outside of it.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what?
I'm not even joking. This is real. This is facts. And he was there.
Dude, what?
And then I was like, of course everything is real in the Bible. That wasn't even made up. Like, no, of course it is. But like just hearing that today, I'm like, of course that exists somewhere today. Isn't that wild, bro? That like tripped me out.
It does trip me out, but I'm not in disbelief because, man, we're gonna sidebar for another quick second. Because I
just had to say it because I was like, I learned that recently.
Noah's Ark. You know, like we hear about like the story of Noah and like, it's like a Bible story. It's like a Bible fairy tale. And like my pastor was preaching. My pastor was preaching on Noah just this past Sunday, And then he was talking to his neighbor about it, and then his neighbor was like, "Oh yeah, isn't that cool? Like how there's like a lot of allegory in the Bible. Like it's just like he's like, oh no, that actually happened." He's like, "What are you talking?" It's like, "No, like are you kidding me?" He's like, "No, you know they found the ark, right?" And I was like, "Wait, what? They found the ark?" So he started pulling up all these pictures. And I've never seen there's this mountain, and there's like the dimensions of this crater. It was like the dimensions of the ark. I saw that too. And then they found all these like nails and like seashells in the mountains. And like I'm like, whoa, that put my.
Of course, we're finding it now. Dude.
I know, right. Yeah,
what's coming?
That put my bro. Come on, you kidding me? We are in the days of Noah again. What's up, stewards? So people have been asking us how they can support the podcast, and the best way for you guys to support us is by joining our Patreon. As a subscriber, you're going to get exclusive content such as Q&As, bonus interviews, hot takes, vlogs, and so much more. This show is a labor of love, and we do have financial needs to keep the podcast going. So if you would like to join our Patreon, log on to patreon.com/goodservicepodcast and join our community today. We love and appreciate you so much, stewards. Thank you so much. So anyway, let's reel it back.
Now, reeling it back for me, like I just wanted to because that question's difficult because there's always like. I don't want to say there's like two sides of Kevin or whatever. There's not like that doesn't exist. It doesn't compartmentalize. This is just all me. But I just like any person, you know, when I'm in my flesh and when I'm in my spirit, it really is different. Because like in those flashes and moments, like you lose yourself for a second or you go back to old things. And so the fear that drives me when my flesh is rampant and I'm not tuned in with Jesus, immediately this sense of control dominates my whole life. Like I feel like even if I don't have it a certain way, and I never knew that about myself until recently, and it's because talking about business, when you have a small business, you know, you could hug the whole thing. Right? Like every part of the business feels like a part of your clothing. Like you know if you feel something on your clothes. What's scary is when this business starts to get bigger and there's things happening without any acknowledgement. And that started to freak me out. And the fear of that drove, and currently on bad days will drive me to overwork myself because I'm like, no, this can't fly right now. And I have this insane thing in my brain, and I thought it was weird. And then I saw other interviews. I'm like, okay, cool. There's other people that are abnormal. When people go like, they're like, what motivation, or they'll ask the questions like, oh, when there's like a problem, you know, when do you say no to that? How do you overcome difficulty? Like people will just ask these questions, but I've always thought, yeah, things are difficult. I'm just going to get it done. Like I have like there is no other. There's never been an other for me, but I didn't realize how toxic or dangerous that was for myself. And the fear of that loss of not knowing, because I just feel blind and naked and afraid. So it's almost for my own comfort. That fear of being like petrified from not knowing what's next would make me control everything. That's like on a bad day. And then everything else, I really fear the distractions of everyday life and my disconnection with God. I fear that like crazy. And it drives me to check in constantly with Jesus every day, constantly with Jesus every hour, because I get so scared of that. It's so weird. I feel like if I lose God too long for like that hour, I'll feel like I'm in abyss and I'm gonna die again. It is so nuts. Like I get so weird like that, and I don't know why I get so like. Even today, I was on my drive here, and I wasn't feeling that connected in the morning. And then I remembered that, and I started to pray, and I started to weep, bro. Like, and I don't even know why I was weeping, but it's because like I felt like, oh, there you are. Like it was weird, and it just hit me so hard that just everything I have right now, and I felt so grateful. Like it was just wild, dude. It was just a moment that I was having in the morning. And I was just like, here I go again. Just like waterworks, bro. Like, what's up with this? But I don't know, man. Fear is a weird conversation for me right now in my life stage. It's like I have this great fear of being away from God. I have a great fear of being away from God. Yeah. I know that got really heavy there for a second.
No.
I mean, it's a heavy question. I don't think fear is a light topic.
It is, man.
You know, I I get what you're saying, and I fear that too. But if I'll be very honest, like we keep it a stack on the show. We just very real. I also fear losing the old life that I'm used to. You know, I fear that like that life was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. You wouldn't fear missing something if it wasn't good, right? Like it did its thing. Like I enjoyed it. It gave me something, and I'm able to like sort of like, you know, like showcase that, like, hey, this is what I've done, and going back to like the fear of the Lord part of it. I think the fear of the Lord is not like I'm afraid of God. It's not like, oh, like God's gonna punish me fear, but it's like giving weight. Like fear of the Lord is giving weight to God. Like I am going to just let you have everything. I'm gonna just dump all of me and give it all to you because I trust that you know better than I do. And that takes humility. And that's like the whole, you know, surrendering yourself, emptying yourself, picking up your cross. All those things are like it's illustrating you emptying your plate and giving it to the Lord. Like, fear of the Lord, I'm gonna give you all my weight, God, because you know what to do with it better than I do. But you know, as I am in my current phase, like I'm like afraid. I'm like, Lord, I do trust you, and I am afraid that I won't be as good as I used to be.
Yeah.
That's the struggle. That's my flesh. My flesh is like, I give it to you, Lord, but I do it with some fear, with some like, I'm not sure, but I'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's what Peter did. Peter stepped out, and then he became unsure, and he started to look around, and then he started to sink. Yeah. And praise God that Jesus saves him from there. It's not like he let him drown. So,
well, I don't think you're supposed to. It should be done in fear, you know, like, because at the end of the day, if it's like, if you want courage, then it's like you have fear. The only thing in between that makes it courage is action. Right. So it's like, if you can't have courage if you don't have fear. Right. So like, when I think about like what you're saying right now, I'm thinking about like consecrate. Like, how does God consecrate us? Like, that's how he does it. We talk about being a living sacrifice and giving it to God, but what does really giving it to God look like? Like, giving it to God, I think about like Abraham. It's like, come on, man. This dude is about to have to go kill his son.
Yeah.
So like, we're talking about a guy who, like, he's fearful all the way up that mountain.
Right.
Like, this isn't like, yeah, I'm just gonna go up there and just like all the way up to doing it. He knows what he's about to do. Yeah. And like, but that's how God grows us. You know, I try to apply that all the time in my business. I'm always thinking about, what do I need to subtract for this next level of growth? Because I'm never going to have growth without getting rid of something. Yeah. And like, I shared a post about 2 years ago. Well, I shared a post about what happened 2 years ago. There was a point where we were at $3.3 million business, and literally we were broke. Like, I was broke. I got evicted from my home.
I get that.
Yeah. And it was all because I wasn't willing to get rid of stuff inside of the business. That's people, products. Like, I was holding on to the stuff that worked. Yeah. And the thing that was crazy was like, God was telling me all about this for over a year and a half. Yeah. Like, you got to remove this. You got to remove that. This person needs to get fired. This person needs to get laid off. This partner needs to have a talking to. Yeah. And it's funny. I told Urs, I was like, I need to stop and watch this video real quick because there's something about it. Some video I watched a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I need to remember what he said. But he said something specific. He said that whenever you wait for making a decision that God is calling you to, you're never going to regret the decision. You're always going to regret how long it took.
Yep.
I was like, sheesh.
We literally, dude, I'm telling you, we hung out on Wednesday this week, right? Wednesday.
Yep.
I was literally telling him about literally delayed obedience causes so much pain. So that pain isn't it's not God giving me pain. That's up to me how much I'm going to exacerbate that pain.
Right.
Like, I could either be like, it's kind of like getting a shot. You could just be like, boop, just get it over with. Yeah. Or you could just drag out that fear, that anxiety. you could drag that whole thing along. You could scream after, you could scream during. You can make it real bad for yourself.
Yeah.
And
I think where Christians play games too is we don't realize like that's the sin right there.
Yep.
Like you're not punished for your sin, you're punished by it.
Mm-hmm.
Like delayed obedience is literally nothing more than just being like living in sin. Like we're not
Literally
taking
living in
action we're
sin.
supposed to take.
Literally.
Man, that's so good.
And it's just like, we're just talking about that. And that's why that's crazy, because it's just reminder of the actions that I need to be taking in the business, in the projects that we're working on, in my life, with decisions in my family. There's all these little things that I felt like I was delaying. And it was this other fear, going back to fear again, is this fear of that change of I won't control this new thing. I can control the old thing because I know it. I could hold it. I could hug it. But this new thing, I don't know the shape. It's blurry to me. I don't see the vision. And even though I know the greatest things in my life today have been given when I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like the greatest successes, the greatest things I've done, I stepped into it, into a complete unknown, just knowing that Jesus is what I needed.
How did this happen?
You know what I mean? That's all I, like, you know, every time I chased Jesus more, it was always better. And yet I forget over and over again because I think I figured it out again. Ah, man.
Yeah, I think when we see an out or when we see an option, you know, it's like, okay, I think I could leave this, and I think that's like the next thing. I mean, sure, that still takes a level of faith.
Yeah.
But what if there is no option that you see?
Right.
And because I think, you know, when you talk about obedience, obedience is yes, period. Not yes if.
Right.
Like, Lord, I'll say yes if you can promise me that I'll be okay.
Right.
And then even with those ifs, like, doesn't he say it'll be okay? Like, did he not say, like,
promised.
I will take care of you? Like, I take care of the birds of the field and the lilies and all the stuff, right? I already told you you're going to be okay. Seek first the kingdom of God, and the rest of these things will be added to you. I've already told you. But we sort of miss all the stuff that he's already said. I'll never leave you nor forsake you. You already told me that, but I'm like, yeah, I know you said that, but God, what about in this instance though? Because this is different. This is a special instance. I need an extra word from you, or I need an extra, you know, assurance from you that this instance is gonna be okay. Don't worry. And I was just sharing with our friend, you know, shout out to Scott. You know, he's the, you know, the amazing man who lets us be here in the lab. You know, he was just asking me, you know, how I've been doing. I'm like, yes, God, I'm actually just wrestling with my next chapter that I feel like God's been calling me to leaving something for a while. And I've now realized I've just delayed this obedience. And it's been a hurtful past couple of years, maybe because I just had been delaying it, you know? Because I've been afraid of, like, if I do this, I don't know what I can move to next. And here's the other challenging thing. Like, okay, yeah, God says he'll take care of us. We'll be good. Like, greater things are to come. You know, you mentioned Abraham. You know, Abraham was told to leave his land. And then, like, the blessing is like, yo, leave first.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what comes next. Just leave first. And a good friend of mine recently, you know, he gave me this like really dope quote. He says, you can't explore new oceans until you leave the shore. And I'm like, dude, okay, I get it, you know?
Right.
And so I was, you know, sharing. I'm like, okay, good, better things are to come. I think of that from my worldly perspective. Better means, okay, more money, more platform, more influence. Like, better means more increase of these sort of very tangible same stuff. And it could include those things. I'm not trying to be like, oh yeah, like God's more is not that. It can be that, but what if it's not? What if God's more is just more of me? Like, if you leave this, you'll get into a season where you have never been like more intimate with me. You'll never be more dependent on me. what if that is the good that I'm promising you? What if that's the better that I'm promising you? Is that good enough? And it's like my head says yes because I'm like, yeah, I know what the Bible says. So yeah, my head says yes, but I'm like, Lord, I don't know that my head and my heart are really connecting. And I'm like, that's where I need help, Lord. Yeah. And that's where fear is at. And I think to your point, we need to come to the Lord with the honesty of that fear. Yeah. As if I could be like, Lord, no, I trust you. I'm not afraid at all. I just have all the faith in the world. Like God's like, for real? You don't think I could really see what's going on in your heart? So these days, man, like I ask God a lot more questions these days. Yeah. I'm not like, Lord, help me do this, or Lord, bless me with that. I'm like, Lord, I know you're calling me to do that. I don't know how. Can you teach me how to do that? Like, I don't know how to have that kind of faith. Right. I want to though. So can you teach me how to have that level of faith? Because I really do feel like a kid right now. And yeah, we are God's kids, you know, and he does see that. He's not like, you know, you're telling me about your son and the soccer thing, right? You know, and I mean, I don't want to tell your story for you, but like, I think that even just what we're talking about now of how you told your son after, you know, his painful thing. I didn't even know you had kids,
Kev.
Yeah. I got 2 boys. Oh, dope. They're 9 and 7. They just play soccer, and it was one made it to the finals, so we're off to the finals. I love talking about this. It's the most important thing in my life right now. But anyways, wait, which story are we talking about?
Well, when you said Connor, when he like, you know, he was upset and, you know, like he got hurt and things like that, and then you were like, you know, you were trying to comfort him, like, hey, I'm like glad that you went through something hard.
Oh, you know what? Okay, yeah. So this is such a parenting is funny, right? Parenting is funny, and I will say, you got kids, Harold?
4
kids. Because I remember you did have kids. I just didn't know how many. That's a lot. That's a lot. Harold's busy. So you'll resonate with this. Parenting is an interesting thing. Because like you're still figuring things out while you're trying to teach them to figure things out. And like you're trying to parent and guide and put guardrails and discipline, and yet you're still working on discipline and guardrails and stuff. So it's like that thing is so crazy. And on top of that, there could be this is a live moment of weakness and strength at the same time. I'm literally at the semifinal game for my son. There is obviously a referee that is favoring the other team. Like it is very obvious. Yeah. Whether it's a family connection, maybe they're family friends, like something's there. Almost to a point that there's a reputation of this lady favoring this team, right? But I ignore all that. I'm just going to enjoy the game. I'm the assistant coach. I'm trying my best just to get the kids going on. There's a lot of unfair things that happen. We just continue to ignore it through the game. In this moment, it was my son. He's a forward, so he's the guy that puts the ball in. For those that don't watch soccer, you should. He's trying to make a goal, and he gets pushed with 2 hands. Now, obviously, 1 hand's a thing, but 2 hands is pretty blatant. Right. So we say, hey, no call. That's not cool. We let him know, and then they just give the ball to the other team. So that was frustrating. We let it go. Within minutes, he literally gets kicked in the back of his leg on one of his shots, clearly from behind. That's not an attempt at the ball. That kid is now being allowed to misbehave because of lack of discipline on the call of the field. Right. So there's multiple things that's being triggered in my heart. 1, my son's getting hurt, which is not okay at that age because he's only 9. Number 2, there is a practice that's happening that's teaching the other child the lack of discipline in sports, which invokes the injustice inside of me. And finally, it is just causing a terrible game to happen. And my parents are now not okay that no one's doing anything about it. So this is my moment of weakness, and I lost it. I started yelling. I didn't use profanity, but I was definitely yelling. And I said to the ref, this is outrageous. This is not okay. You got to reverse the call now, or at least give our team the ball. It's not a free kick. And she red carded me off the field.
Oh, wow.
She literally yelled and said, get out of here right now, or your team's disqualified. And so I didn't say another word, packed my stuff. She's like, I said to leave. I'm like, I'm getting my stuff. So I just got my stuff. And I walked to the parking lot and I said, sorry, honey, I'll be right over there. Okay, I'll meet you after the game's done. So I had to watch from a distance, which I did, which was, I thought I laughed about it on my walk because I was like, that wasn't okay for me to lose it. And at the end of the day, my heart was apologetic to the team and to the families, still not the ref, but definitely to the families. So when I got back at the end of the game, we lost. It was they played their hearts out. It was 5-on-5, right? Like they did the penalty kicks because it was tie game. It was crazy. So it was a good game. So at the end of it, I apologized to every parent, but they were like, no, you did the right thing, all that. Right. But that's not the point. The point is, after all that, on the drive, I let my son know because he was so upset. Like I'm talking, he was almost pale, like he was sick from upsetness.
That they lost?
Yeah, because they lost. And more than that, he really was like, this was so unfair. Like, Dad, like, I don't care if we lose, but it was taken from us. And I said, life will always take things from you, son. I want you to know that life isn't fair, and that's okay. Yep. And I want you to know hard things make you a strong man. Because I literally wanted him to know that, because I know my son has it easy. Because just like you, I come from like a very bad upbringing, and yet he comes from a lot of normality. So I know there's no hardship in his life. You know what I'm saying? Like that was probably the hardest thing that ever happened to him. You know what I mean? Like this was the hardest thing that happened to this kid. He's 9, so he had a good 9 years of calmness. So I in that moment, instead of just going, and like trying to make him feel better, I did none of that. I said, I want you to sit in the pain that you feel. Yeah. And I want you to really process why you're mad, why you're angry. Not that you could fix any of those things, but I just need you to understand that's a real emotion in life that you could turn to God for. Yeah. And I really took that moment to let him know, in these moments where you can't, God can. And I need you to pray. Yeah. And right now, I know you won't pray for the ref because I don't want to.
Because I'm not.
And this is a real thing. I'm not going to
I'll do
either.
that tomorrow, maybe.
But I was telling him, I will pray to God that Daddy doesn't lose his temper like that, because that's not okay. My character to make another person feel small. Why is that okay? It's not. Even though there was injustice, it's not my job to judge or execute others. It is the Lord's. And so it's interesting trying to teach your kids this when you made the mistake in front of them.
Right.
But I have to admit my defeat, my ego, and show my boy that I'm wrong too. And I get to be wrong, just like you get to be wrong. But God is right. He just is. Wow. Because I can't do it. Yeah. And it's hard, bro. Parenting sucks.
Yeah. I think that's so much more. That is so much more powerful for you to be wrong, like in front of.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because like growing up, like I had a lot of dysfunction, but I grew up around, like I was raised in a household with my dad who was in and out of the house because he was gangbanging and all that. Yeah. And then my grandmother that raised me was just 10 years divorced, so she was living in the house with her brother. So I'm in the house with my great uncle, grandmother, and my 2 uncles, aunt, and then my dad.
That's a lot of personalities.
A lot of personalities.
Yeah.
Right.
But across the board, none of them ever admitted when they were wrong, and they never made it a point to not make mistakes in front of me. So like I grew up not really getting to have real conversations about like, oh, you messed up. I get to see it, and you're admitting that you messed up. Yeah. So I struggle with that in parenting now, where it's like I'm learning that I have to be very comfortable with. I made a mistake. Yeah. Let me address it and show my daughters and my son, especially my oldest is my daughter. She's 9 as well. I have a 9 and a 7-year-old too.
Oh, nice.
2 girls. Nice. But yeah, I have to show her and tell her like, hey, this is how I showed up here. This wasn't okay. But now they get to learn from that, as opposed to just thinking that everything's easy. Yeah. I struggle with a lot of issues around money because I grew up in. None of my family, I never watched anyone work. My grandmother was on disability. My uncle was pretty much living under my grandmother. So, but we always had stuff because my uncle who was in the house was actually a doctor, great uncle, but I had no relationship with him. Dude was never like, literally was just come in, go watch TV, never talk to him.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm like, oh, like living's free, pretty much. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like crazy the
Interesting,
lessons that you
interesting.
learn,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And now I'm learning. And I think the thing I struggle with in parenting
That's good.
is like trying to. I'm living from like a lot of defense of how do I just make this. I don't want them to deal with what I dealt with, you know.
Yeah.
And that's probably my biggest struggle right now. Is the biggest fear I deal with is I don't want my kids to experience what I experienced. And I'm learning that I have to really go to God a lot of just like, I need to give that up because I'm constantly trying to control how they're raised.
Yeah.
And that's a big struggle for me.
Hey Stewards, we all need prayer, so we're excited to announce our partnership with Seedling. Seedling is an online platform for churches, content creators, and different ministries to connect to their communities through the power of prayer. There'll be real people on the other side, like myself and Ben. We're also logged on. We'll be there to intercede for you through voice and through text. Please log on to seedling.so so we can get connected through prayer. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I think that's a really tough, ongoing thing, though. I just want to encourage you because, dude, like literally parenting is so weird because it's like some days you feel like, man, I'm the best dad in the world. You know, you feel good. And then like within a split second, you're like, I don't know anything. Like, what did I just do? Like, why is he acting like this? Or how could he have done that? Like the moment your kid just does something crazy, stupid. And I'm just like, what the heck? Like, what is he doing? You know, and I think one of the things that I pray for, at least for myself a lot, and I learned a couple of things is that one of the things I keep praying is that, you know, these are your kids, Lord, just like you know what I mean? Because like I know for a fact that like I'm the way I am because the Lord raised me also with my parents and everything, right? And so I have to keep giving that up. But I think the deepest thing is we learn from these men's retreat we go to. Sometimes old sagey dudes come down, you know, they've been with Jesus way longer than us. And he talks about family all the time. And one of the most powerful questions someone asked him was, you know, you just seem like you got everything together in parenting and you're like, he's like 70 years old and all that, really tight family. And they asked him like, what's the number one thing that you wish you did that you didn't? Because you guys have a great family. So we still want to know, you must think of things too that you wanted to improve. And he goes, I wish I stood longer at my kid's door and just prayed for them. And that like hit me so hard because like it made me realize like how much prayer our parents have done for us. Because somebody must have been praying for us to be here, you know, and it really hit me, and I love thinking about that of how protected I am, how many arrows my mother took for me that will never be seen, and so I will continue to pray and give my children to the Lord.
Yeah, that's so good, man. You know, it's funny. I had you know, like I said, I was raised by my grandmother, and you know, over time. She passed away when I was 17, so I dropped out of high school and then kind of just, that's how I ended up at Walmart. But, you know, as growing up, I began to start to have this resentment towards her because I felt like, you know, she was the reason why my dad wasn't around or my mom wasn't around or whatever. Because I'd hear all the stories from everybody else, like your grandma was a control freak and all that. And respectfully, I understand why. It's like she didn't want me to end up like any of her kids or like my mom or whatever, you know.
That's right.
And respect to all of my family, like, you know, my family all, you know, I have love for them and everything that they've done. But one thing I literally came to realization with, I was driving with my daughter, and she asked me something. I can't even remember what she asked me now. But she asked me, she said, oh man, I don't want to forget this. She basically asked me something along the lines of about church or about my grandfather or something like that. And after she asked it, I had the realization. I was like, dang, like I've been holding all this resentment for my grandmother, And then I remembered, I was like, my grandmother, every night, we never went to church. We'd only go to church like during Christmas time, Christmas and Easter, the typical.
Yeah.
But she always had a Bible, and she'd always read like the Lord's Prayer to me. Like every night we do the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
Like I remember that as a kid.
Wow.
It stopped when I got maybe like into high school or maybe even middle school or something. But even before that, and I just remember like I'm like, dang, like God, like I wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
Right.
Like I wouldn't have the experiences I'm experiencing with you if it wasn't for my grandmother taking the time to do that.
Wow.
Even though, she couldn't make it to church.
Right.
She's not what I thought was a believer,
Sure.
what a believer's life should look like.
Sure.
But it's like God uses all of those moments,
Right.
man.
Yeah, those seeds were planted, man.
Yeah. And so I think about that with my kids is just like, because the struggle is, you're right, at the end of the day, like there's no way to say, like, I was the best dad. Like, there's no such thing, first off.
Yeah.
And I'll deal with it because my daughter was telling me one day we're going into our house, and she's like, yeah, the kids at school were like, yeah, it's really cool. Like, your dad owns a business. Like, I wish my dad owned a business. And she was like, yeah, but he works a lot. But in my mind, I'm like, what are you talking about? I take you to school every day. I pick you up all the time. Like, I'm at every event you guys do. It's like, I don't ever see these dads. Like,
Yeah.
But to
Bro,
her,
don't get me started on that, bro. Oh my God. So
I'm like, you go to private school? Like, come on, what are we talking about here? Like,
Man, that's funny.
They need more hardship. That's what it
bro, for real. It's funny. Like one of my friends, her friend, like his dad at the school, he told me, he was like, yeah, man, my son was tripping, man. I had to take him. I just took him to to public school down the street. Like, come on, we're going to school.
You know what it could be like?
yeah, this is how it is.
Walked him into the office and everything. He was like clenching on his arm, like, what are we doing? Like, man, I had to let him know.
That's wild that they think like public school is like prison
Bro,
or
they think it's
something,
the
man.
worst
That's
thing
so
ever,
crazy.
That's where we grew up.
Facts.
I'm
like,
My kids are in a public school program. It's beautiful. Thank you.
I think about okay, you guys are both raising up your children, probably redeeming a lot of your own childhood upbringing. Like, okay, I wish my parents were present in this way. I wish they had been willing to admit their faults and apologize for when they screw up and things like that. Those are all things that you guys are redeeming with your own children. And I believe that God, like, you guys are planting seeds into your children. And then I think all three of us here, we grew up in dysfunctional homes, where we didn't get the things that we just said. We didn't get the parents like humbling themselves and explaining, hey, what I just did, or how I just yelled at you, that wasn't right. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't get that.
Yeah.
And here we are. You know what I'm saying? So I bring that up because, yes, there's such a thing as good parenting, and the Lord using that, training up your child, and he or she will grow up in the ways of the Lord. And also, even if you don't grow up that way, God still can redeem. That just goes to show how good of a father he is. Like, in spite of our lack of good parenting of our earthly parents, he can use that and redeem it. Right. And he trains you guys up to be like good parents, and then he can use it and redeem it with your children. Right. And like, the power of planted seeds is, I think, really what I'm trying to understand and unpack here, is that your grandma, you're like, well, we only went to church twice a year, but we did Lord's Prayer every night. Right. And I'm sure throughout your childhood, you weren't thinking that was a powerful thing. They're like, oh, that's just our nightly routine, And, same with, my mom. Like, my mom has been the praying mom before I was even born. Like, I was like the son that she had prayed to be born. And she was like, she made a promise to the Lord, like, if you give me a son, I promise that I will stay married to this man that you've given me for the rest of my life. Yeah. And then I was born. So she told me, she's like, you are the son that was birthed with a promise that I gave to God. And then, but of course me, as a kid, I don't think that has any weight to it. I'm like, oh, that's nice. And I just went ahead and lived my own life and gave my mom a lot of grief and probably gave her a lot of, heartache. But even though I went wayward, and then by the grace of God, he brought me back. And like just recently, I'm talking this year, like during Easter week, Holy Week, I like the Holy Spirit put it on my heart to wash my mom's feet. And that was something that was so random that I'm like, that has to be God. There's no way that I'm thinking I should go wash my mom's feet today.
Right,
I'm like, that's the most random thing. And then I asked the Lord, like, why do you want me to do this? And he wasn't giving me the why until after I did it. And he was like, because I wanted to heal a relationship between you guys. And it's crazy because you said you had resentment towards your grandmother, right? Like, though she was the one who was like kind of the glue, but then you would somehow develop some sort of resentment. That's the same thing with me. My mom was the glue, and then my dad got shot when I was 14 and all this stuff. So like my family is just everywhere. And I would think that like it would make sense for me to like praise my mom and like, wow, like, Mom, thank you for just holding our family together. But somewhere in there, I just resented her. I'm like, our family is messed up and like it's your fault. Though she was the one that like, I'm trying to keep things together, And so I grew up with this silent resentment towards her and unforgiveness towards her. So when the Lord said, go wash your mom's feet, I didn't know that was him wanting to heal that. He wanted to mend that relationship. And the way that the Lord shifted the way I saw her, she was weeping. We were both crying. It was just the whole thing, right? She was letting me wash her feet. She knows what that means, and I'm learning what it means as I'm doing it. So we're both just crying, and I give her this hug, and then she tells me she's like proud of me. She's like, I'm so proud of you. And my mom doesn't say that kind of stuff often, I mean, well, she'll say things like in passing, oh, I'm so proud of you, like that stuff like that. But this was like a very like
carry some weight,
heartfelt, like, I'm so proud of you. Not because you won America's Best Dance Crew, proud of you. It's like, I'm proud of you because you're the man of God that I had prayed for since the day you were born. I prayed that this would be a man who would be dedicated to serving God. And I wasn't that man up until very like kind of recently. So at 44 years old, and I'm like, man, for probably a good 30 plus years, I gave my mom grief, but she never stopped praying. She never stopped believing. She would still keep on praying. And then so this moment where she was able to like recognize like, wow, the things that I've been praying for 30 plus years, like God is showing me that wasn't done in vain. And now I'm like washing my mom's feet, and she's just like, I'm proud of you that you're the man of God that you are today. And it had nothing to do with how much money you're making or you have this title, or anything like that. And so, yeah, that's the stuff to me where, as you guys are parents and, and you guys have also experienced, pain in the way that you were brought up, but then also wanting to redeem it with your families now. Like that's the power of God. That's all it is. You know what I mean? And again, going back to the seeds planted, like, man, praise the Lord that you guys are planting good seeds, into your children. But yeah, like it goes a long way.
Yeah,
really
one more thing I'll say about like families and why I think it's such a beautiful thing to be a part of, whatever side of the family you guys are on, whether you are the child or you don't have kids yet, or you want kids or you don't want kids. One thing that I think I have the blessing to understand today as a parent is you start to get to see the different like parts of God, right? Because we're parents and we see that love for our children. It's a little different. And what's crazy is like, social media is a funny thing. Doom scrolling is a funny thing. We talked about this the other pod, but sometimes, just Christian clips are cool, and it was like a clip it was like some cheesy TV show, like one of those Christian TV shows on Hallmark or something, or I don't know. I don't even know what those channels are called, like Dove or TGN or whatever.
TBN?
Yeah, TBN or something like, or it was like a movie or something. And there was an actor and there was an angel and then two of their kids. The kids looked like about my kid's age. And it was a really short clip of this one scene and it looked cheesy already, right? But it hit me and I was like crying and I was so dumb. But the topic was basically the angel asked the dad, pick one of your kids. One of them is going to go to heaven with me. The other one's going to burn in hell. Whoa. And the dad was like, what? He's like, I can't do that. He's like, no. I need you to pick. One of them is going to go with me to heaven. The other one's going to burn in hell for eternity. And the dad obviously is like breaking down and he's like, there's no, like I can't. And then the angel looks at the dad and literally goes, and that's why God did it for you. And I was like, and I was like, I was like crying. I was like, oh, come on, bro. You know, because I never even thought of it that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Right. And that's why he came down. But I mean, that was crazy.
Going back to Abraham, you mentioned Abraham. You know, that, like, Abraham was afraid the whole time, right, as he's walking his son. And, I remember the Sunday school version of this story. I'm thinking it's like, you know, he's like a baby. Abraham's carrying his son. Like Isaac was like a man.
He's like, yo, where the sacrifice at?
Where are we going, God?
Is he like 900 years old at this point or something?
I mean, all I know
he was
is
like this old dude.
Isaac was a man. Like, you know, he was a young man. Yeah. So he is willingly following his father. It's not like he's carrying Isaac and Isaac doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah, I didn't know that either till I became an adult.
It's just like, so literally Abraham, the father, being afraid, being obedient, and then his son is just following him because he just knows, I'm going to follow my dad willingly. Right. Probably carrying the wood. You know what I'm saying? Like,
a lot of people say it's Isaac's faith in that moment.
Right, right. Because he's just like, well, my dad told me to follow him, so I'm just going to follow him. And then, you know, to the point, like, that's probably got to be the longest hike ever, right? And then finally, Abraham being as afraid as he is, he's like, all right, God, I'm about to do it.
Lay down, son.
And then so, like,
sheesh.
Like, Abraham is the father in this story. Abraham's not Jesus, right? Like, Isaac is representing Jesus, essentially. Right. And then, you know, God stops Abraham, gives him the ram and instead, or, you know, and then, like, this is the sacrifice. And so, like, you know, as you were talking about, you know, courage is not the absence of fear. It's doing it in the face of fear and being obedient to the call, you know. Yeah, man, I really think about, you know, when we are called to do what God is calling us to do, he doesn't disqualify us because fear is present. Even when he says, do not fear, it's not the same, like, if you fear, you're disqualified. You know, it's just, it's more of an assurance of, like, there's nothing to fear because I'm here. But I understand that you have fear, and it's his reassurance. It's like, I know you're afraid, but I'm here. Right. Yeah.
I just wanted a quick, if there's a time, I wanted to ask one more thing to Harold. Yeah. Because while I have you, because whenever I get entrepreneurs on the pod, I have, like, my own personal questions and convictions too, because I want to continue to grow and learn. For you and your things that you work on, organization, your business shoots, other businesses that you may have or projects, how are you against fear boldly, like, trying to permeate the gospel in what you do? Like, how do you do it? How to encourage the other people listening? Yeah,
me and Urs were talking about that on the way here, because, like, you know, it's hard when your business, especially because Shoots, obviously I have partners, right? But Shoots isn't like a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, where it's like, oh, that's the Christian company.
Yeah,
you
you open on Sundays. Yeah.
Right, exactly. We're open on Sundays. You know, we're here Christmas Eve. We're going to be serving, right? So, but for me, it's like, I try to, everything we do in the organization is based off of biblical principles, whether or not anyone knows it or not, you know? So, like, for instance, with my managers, right? I'm always telling my managers, like, yo, a manager, I like to call them growth managers. I don't call them general managers. That's what it says on their job title because, you know, I don't want them to go to another company and they're like, what's a growth manager? But I tell them, I'm like, our goal is not to maintain the business. Like, and then every once in a while I'll get the opportunity to share because they'll be like, well, what do you mean? I'll say, your goal here is to grow this thing. If we come back a year later and your store is doing the same thing it was doing last year, that's not what success looks like here for a manager at Shoots. And so every once in a while I'll get asked, well, like, what do you mean? What's the principle behind this or whatever? So I share with them the parable of the talents. It's like master leaves, comes back, and sometimes I'll ask them, like, hey, if you don't mind, like, I'm a man of faith, let me share this from the Bible. You know, and I'll give them the breakdown of like why this makes sense. So I get those little opportunities, and then, you know, I'll share another example of a story. Screw it, I'll share it. Yeah. So my assistant, she's been with us since the beginning. Worked when she was 18 when she started working with us, and recently did an event, like a meetup we hosted, and this one guy happened to come to the event. This dude's a billionaire, like in the yeah, with the B.
Dang.
Yeah, I didn't know he was coming. Like, he came with another pastor.
There's only 3,000 of those guys.
So he's like invested heavy in you know, data centers, and now focuses nuclear energy. He literally switched his asset class from real estate to commercial real estate to nuclear energy and data centers and whatnot.
Wow.
And he's a Christian, so he's speaking to us about, you know, what we're supposed to be doing here as believers. And he's like, I believe that a lot of us, especially that are entrepreneurs, it's like, yo, we need to be having impact. And in order for us to have impact, we need to have influence. And so one of the things, he's just sharing, he shares for like 2 hours. This is like 2 hours on top of the event.
Wow.
We're not even expecting this to happen, right?
Wow.
But anyways, like, my assistant's there. She's in the room still because she came to like set up the food or whatever. And I told her, hey, you can hang out or whatever if you want. And she was raised Buddhist. And so at the end of it, we end up praying and all that, right? Then we leave. She texts me that same night, and she's like, yeah, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be in the room, allowing me to be around these people. And she goes to the college she goes to right now. They've been having a lot of events where they'll go to like networking events, and they'll meet like leaders from other organizations and whatnot. And she's like, I keep meeting these leaders that are Christian. And I'm noticing that like something about them, like I'm drawn to them.
Wow.
Right. So I just look at it like that. Like, one, there's so much, we're going so much bigger than where we're at. And so I just imagine that magnifying so much more. And God's just starting to give me much more opportunities and starting to help me understand how to really like navigate those conversations and how to.
Dude, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. But that's pretty much like the gist of it. Like, we do Shoots Giving. We give away free food.
Shoots
Simple.
Giving.
Shoots Giving.
Hey, it's coming up, I guess, right?
Yeah. I don't know when we're going to do the next one. We're thinking about doing one called Pennies Giving. Where give us 100 pennies. Because I don't know if you guys heard they're not minting pennies anymore.
Yeah, there's no more pennies.
yeah.
Man. That's crazy.
I don't know. It might be pretty gimmicky. But like, when we do that, it's like, yo, principle is you reap what you sow. So,
That's good. I like that.
Okay, well, yeah, man, Harold. So we have one final question that we ask all of our guests. You know, we love to eat on the show. We love to break bread. So we hit up, you know, our local small business restaurants that provide good food and good service, which ultimately creates a good experience. And that's why we keep coming back. Shout out to Shoots. Thank you so much, Harold, for blessing us. Yo, man, y'all need to get out there. You guys got locations where?
Long Beach, San Juan Capistrano, Stanton, Garden Grove, basically, Ontario, and Whittier.
There you go. That's Shoots with a Z at the end. So if y'all are out here in SoCal, hit up a Shoots. But yeah, so, you know, good service can mean different things to different people. Good and service. So what does good service mean to you, Harold?
Ooh, what does good service mean to me? Good service means giving up yourself for the experience of another, whatever that looks like.
Oh, that's fire.
Giving up yourself.
Giving up like the need to have, giving up lack. Like there's no lack. This is all abundance. So at the end of the day, like are you willing to give up what you have so that someone else can experience more?
That's so good, dude.
That's dope, man. Well, dude, Harold, thank you for blessing us with this meal, man. I still got a whole other meal in front of me, so this is for tomorrow and maybe the next day.
Hey,
but man, we're so blessed by. And I love that, like, you guys have a history, because you guys both came in like, oh yeah, we know each other, but I didn't know you were Christian. I didn't know you were Christian. Like, it's
There's
cool.
been a lot of growth since then. We need to go deeper off the pod, man. Off the pod.
Yeah, it's cool to be able to have people connect or reconnect after years like that, and find find yourselves in a way different place. Yeah. But man, we are so grateful for you, and we want to serve you in return. So what's a way that we here or our listening audience can be praying for you? How can we serve you through prayer?
There's a next step of my life that I'm kind of very similar to what you were saying. There's a next step that I'm having a lot of, I guess, fear around some things I know I need to give up in my life. Wow. And it's usually, for me right now, the things that are popping up is certain relationships and certain, I guess, just things where I'm comfortable with. So I would say not necessarily the courage to address it, but even the courage to just explore it.
Whoa, okay.
Like I feel like I feel like that's the start of me just really like going deep and exploring what are those things, and God show it all to me, so that I can move from there. I can give it to him.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, definitely we'll be praying. And if people want to follow the journey from Shoots to your personal, where can they find you? Yeah,
Instagram, Shoots Official, Shoots.official, and then Instagram, Harold I. Walters.
Sweet.
And I know you got a online academy, Multipliers Academy. What's that? Just plug that real quick.
Yeah, what is that? I want to know. Yeah.
So 2 pieces. One is focused on consulting for businesses that are typically within like that 250,000 to 5 million range. It's a pretty big range, but like the focus is, what I've learned is that a lot of times businesses are so focused on growing revenue. And I always like to say, like, revenue feeds your ego, business feeds your profit feeds your business, but cash feeds your freedom. A lot of times we're so focused on the revenue that we end up shooting ourselves in the foot. We're adding too many things. And so I help businesses, basically, what God's gifted me with is being able to see holes and the things that need to be fixed. And so there's that piece of it, and the other piece of it is just through education. So courses along the lines of like how to grow restaurant business, how to utilize AI in your business, things like that. But it's mainly the consulting arm.
Very cool. Yeah, guys, if you guys are looking for consulting or mentorship or just, growth in your business, hit up Harold, man. This guy can
and
help
delicious food.
And delicious food. Yeah. Folks, thank you so much for hanging out with us on another episode of Good Service. If this is blessing you guys in any way, a great way you can bless us in return is share the podcast, screenshot your phone, tag us at Good Service Pod. We repost all of that. And make sure you follow, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our episodes. Check us out on Spotify, YouTube, all those analytics helps us. And if leave us a review, that really does help us. Guests that you would like us to bring on, restaurants that you want us to hit up. If you are a restaurateur and you would want to bless us with a meal, we'd love to feature you on the show. Hit us up in the DMs. We'd love to feature you guys. And and if we do need financial support too, and if you would like to support us financially, where your finances will go, literally, it's providing meals for us, and it's to help keep our lights on and to support our team. We have a team that's working diligently every single week. So your finances would go directly into just supporting our team. Best way to do that, Patreon. So subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Good Service Podcast. Or we have a Cash App at Good Service Podcast, so you can support us there as well. And most importantly, please keep praying for us. This is a labor of love. This is an assignment that God has put on our hearts, and we want to be as obedient as we possibly can, in our efforts. But it's the Lord that's got to breathe on us. So please keep praying for us, and we love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Good Service. We out of here. Peace.
Stewards, thank you so much for supporting good service. People have been asking us how you can support the pod. We have a Patreon.
Yes, if you guys go on there, there's additional content. We're going to be doing Q&As, different announcements, and other types of special things just for our tight community. So thank you guys for supporting us on Patreon.
Please subscribe. We love you guys. Peace,
Jeez.
Stewards.